There are moments in life when you think you've reached the turning point of happiness, only to find yourself swallowed whole by storms of betrayal, doubt, and shattered trust. I'm a 35-year-old man from a small town, where family and tradition meant everything. I had dreams, a true love, but the ones I trusted most turned against me, trying to tear apart everything I fought for. I fell in love with a remarkable woman named Elena. She's a single mom to a little boy named Harry. I chose to stand by them, even though my family fiercely opposed it. What I thought would be a chance to mend fences with my parents ended up as a setup, a twisted game where they pressured me to abandon Elena and Harry for someone they approved of instead. What hurt the most? The betrayal of my own brother, who once was my greatest ally. He sided with my parents, believing I was making a mistake, and that broke me in ways I never expected. In this video, I'm sharing the full story. The joy, the heartbreak, the impossible choices, and the courage it took to protect the family I chose. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, what city are you watching from? Enjoy the video. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other's business, and family was more than just blood, it was an identity. My parents, hardworking and bound by tradition, worked the land with a pride that ran deep, planting seeds of expectation for me and my older brother Alan. Their dream was clear, for us to carry on the family farm, to honor generations that had tilled the same soil. But inside me stirred a tension, between the cozy familiarity of the farm and a restless desire to find something more. Photography was my escape, my voice when words failed me. I still remember the day Alan, my brother, saved up his own money from countless part-time jobs and handed me my first camera. That moment was magical, like someone handing me wings when I had only known the earth beneath my feet. Alan was the only one who truly saw me, who listened to my dreams while the rest of the town saw me as just the farmer's son. He was my anchor in a sea of expectations. Yet even my closest bond frayed over time. While Alan stayed close to the land, I was restless, chasing a dream that my parents barely understood. The tension grew quietly. Questions, disappointed glances, and unspoken words that cut deeper than any argument could. I wasn't being rebellious, I was simply trying to breathe in a world beyond the fences of our farm. But my parents saw it as betrayal. That internal battle shaped me, caught between love for my family and the urge to forge my own path. Every photo I took, every shutter click, was a small act of rebellion and hope. I could feel their skepticism in the silence whenever I returned from college, their unspoken judgment weighing down like the heavy Midwestern sky. This struggle was more than just a career choice, it was about who I wanted to be. The farm represented legacy and loyalty, but photography promised freedom and self-expression. It was a war within me that few understood, and fewer still supported. As I stand on this crossroads of loyalty and desire, little did I know that the most profound tests of love and family would soon come from the choices I made beyond that farm, choices that would pull me further away from the past and force me to confront not only my family's expectations, but my own heart. And that brings me to Elena, the woman who changed everything and deepened the journey of finding myself in ways I never imagined. Meeting Elena was like stumbling upon light in the darkest corner of my world. I still remember that college football game, the roar of the crowd, adrenaline pumping through my veins, and there she was, standing on the sidelines with a shy smile and eyes full of stories she hadn't yet told. Elena wasn't like anyone I had ever met. She was quiet, like me, but beneath that reserved exterior was a strength that would come to change my life forever. Our shared passion for photography was the spark that brought us closer. I remember the nervousness the first time I asked her to go out. Her hesitation wasn't rejection but a wall built from years of guarding a secret she wasn't ready to reveal. Eventually, curiosity overcame caution, and we began to talk, laugh, and dream together. But it was during that slow walk in the park after our first date that the truth spilled out. Elena, with tears threatening to break free, confided in me that she was a single mother to a 2-year-old boy named Harry. She told me about the young love that had faded, the boyfriend who walked away, and the fierce love and responsibility she carried alone. I understood, instantly, a mixture of awe, empathy, and something deeper settled in my chest. This revelation could have pushed me away. After all, I was still young, with dreams of my own, and a family that valued tradition above all else. But instead, I felt a powerful resolve, a desire to stand by her, to protect and love not just her, but the little boy she held so dearly. I reached for her hand, knowing this was no longer just about photography or football, it was about family in its truest, most honest form. Yet, from the moment she became part of my life, the world around us grew darker. My parents' disapproval was like a shadow, cold and unyielding. They could not accept Elena's past or Harry's presence. Whispers, judgmental looks, and endless warnings piled on, as if they expected me to abandon everything, to leave the woman I loved and the child who had stolen my heart. And then there was Alan, my brother, the one person I trusted the most. Watching his silence at first, I clung to hope that he understood me. But slowly, I saw the cracks, his allegiance was shifting. His quiet nods to our parents' plans and eventual suggestion that I should consider better options felt like a knife twisted deep. The betrayal was not just personal, it was a family fracture that echoed through every conversation, every tense silence. Despite it all, Elena and I kept fighting. We laughed with Harry's innocent joy, we held each other through the nights heavy with pain and doubt, and we dreamed of a future where love wasn't a battle but a sanctuary. Every challenge strengthened my resolve to prove that our family was built on something far stronger than blood alone. But the storm was far from over. The real test awaited us, when the family we depended on most would try to tear us apart. The question was clear: would I stand firm for the family I chose, or would I be broken by the ties of blood? The true test of love, I soon learned, wasn't just about surviving the outside world, it was about weathering the storm inside my own family. When Elena and I decided to take our relationship seriously, telling my parents about her and Harry, I believed honesty would build bridges. Instead, I watched those bridges collapse before my eyes. My parents' reaction was nothing short of devastating. The shock on their faces became a bitter scar in my memory. My mother's voice trembled with disbelief, then anger, laced with constant reminders that Elena was not the woman we wanted for you. My father, stern and seemingly unyielding, warned me repeatedly that I was making the biggest mistake of my life, marrying a woman with a child from another man. Their words weren't just harsh, they were weapons aimed at the heart of my happiness. What cut even deeper was watching Alan, my own brother, drift away from the bond we shared. The brother who once was my closest confidant now echoed their doubts, counseling me to reconsider, to think about the family legacy, and even suggesting that there might be someone better suited for me. His wife, warm and gentle in many ways, became another voice siding against us, suggesting setups with families she preferred. It felt like a silent conspiracy, and the betrayal stung like fresh wounds. The most painful moment came when they engineered a family gathering. Supposedly to mend things, but it quickly became a trap. I was introduced to Gigi, a seemingly kind woman, but the weight of that introduction was suffocating. My own parents practically pitched her as the perfect alternative to Elena, someone who didn't carry the baggage they perceived in my wife. It was a humiliating ordeal, a heartbreaking reminder that my family preferred a stranger over the woman I loved and the child I had chosen to embrace as my own. Inside, I wrestled with a storm of emotions: anger, heartbreak, disbelief, but above all, fierce determination. I was done being the powerless son who bowed to family pressure. This wasn't just about me anymore, this was about protecting Elena, protecting Harry, and protecting the life we'd started building together. I couldn't imagine a world without them. That night, as voices raised and old wounds reopened, I stood up and shouted, more for my own liberation than anything else. The silence that followed wasn't the peace I longed for, but it was the breaking point I needed. I walked away, leaving behind the gathering, the pressure, the promises of approval that never came. Yet the fight wasn't over. Alan and his wife begged me to stay and listen. My brother's words cut like knives: "You should be a better son." But I realized that being a better son didn't mean sacrificing my soul or my family. I had to accept the painful truth. Those who could not support my love were not meant to be part of this new chapter of my life. As Elena and I quietly retreated from the chaos, there was an unspoken understanding between us. Our love was tested, wounded, but not broken. I saw in her eyes the same fierce spirit that had first drawn me to her, a strength to weather the fiercest storms together. Little did I know that this chapter of betrayal and defiance was just the beginning. Ahead lay even greater challenges. Legal battles, emotional trials, and the fight to claim the family we chose as our own. After the brutal confrontation with my parents and feeling the sharp sting of betrayal from Alan, the road ahead felt uncertain and heavy. Elena and I found ourselves navigating choppy waters, not just of family strife but of distance, responsibility, and lingering doubts that tried to creep in during the quiet moments. My job demanded hours away from home, traveling to capture fleeting moments through my lens, while Elena held down her position as a diligent accountant. We were separated by miles, yet bound by an unbreakable thread of love and faith in what we were building together. Those long months apart tested me in ways I hadn't imagined. Each silent night without them was a battle against loneliness and the nagging voices from my past. My parents' disapproval, my brother's cold distance, and the weight of carrying a child who wasn't biologically mine. But every time I felt the cracks forming, I'd remember Harry's smile, Elena's unwavering support, and the dreams we shared. Elena was my rock through those times. Despite her own wounds from family judgment and years of carrying burdens alone, she encouraged me to hold tight, to find strength in our chosen family. Together, we created rituals. Calls late into the night, plans for the future, photos exchanged like love letters, small anchors that kept us connected. When I finally secured a steady, well-paying job that allowed me to settle in one place, I knew it was time. Time to stop running and start building. My proposal to Elena was more than a promise, it was a defiant declaration that we were family, no matter what anyone else thought. I still remember her eyes sparkling with tears not just of joy, but relief and hope that this was the beginning of our forever. Of course, the shadow of my family's disapproval still loomed. My mother's harsh words and my father's cold warnings could have crushed a lesser spirit, but I had grown stronger through pain. Our wedding was small, done quietly at a courthouse, but it was perfect. Elena's parents stood by us, their kindness a healing balm. And then came the milestones. The first home we bought together, watching Harry grow from a curious toddler into a lively 5-year-old bursting with wonder and laughter. Those moments filled me with a joy so profound it drowned out all the noise of the past. Yet, beneath that joy lurked a quiet determination. I was not just a husband, I wanted to be Harry's father legally. To erase any doubt, any whispers that Harry was anything less than my son. The decision to begin the adoption process was mine and Elena's mutual pledge. A declaration of love, responsibility, and belonging that no one could challenge. Through every trial, from the cold silences of my own family to the long legal hurdles ahead, we held on to each other. Our journey was not just about fighting others, it was about growing, learning what family truly means. It is not blood or approval but love, trust, and sacrifice. Looking back, I realize those dark days shaped me into the man I am today. A man who chooses love over lineage, courage over comfort. And though the battle with my birth family isn't over, the life Elena, Harry, and I are building is a testament to faith, resilience, and the power of standing firm in what your heart knows is right. When Elena and I decided to take the next step, to make our family official, I knew the path ahead would be far from easy. Adoption, especially step-parent adoption, is more than a signed paper. It's a declaration that I am here to stand as Harry's father, to protect him, love him, and give him the security no one can ever question. The legal process was daunting. It meant navigating a complex web of laws, court petitions, and approvals. In the U.S., every state has its own rules, but the heart of it is always the same, proving to the court that the adoption is in the child's best interests. For me, that meant showing the deep bond one had with Harry. How I was not just a visitor in his life, but a constant presence, a caregiver, and a protector. To begin, I had to ensure the consent of Harry's biological mother, Elena, which she gladly gave. But the thornier issue was the biological father, Nick, who had long abandoned his responsibilities. Legally terminating his parental rights was painful to consider but necessary to give Harry a secure and loving home. The court needed proof of abandonment and neglect, and we gathered every piece of evidence: the lack of contact, no emotional support, and only sporadic financial contributions managed by Elena's family. I remember meeting with our adoption lawyer, sitting across from her, face flushed with hope but weighed down by anxiety. She guided us through every step, from filing the formal petition to supplying home studies that verified our household stability and readiness to raise Harry as my own. Throughout this process, the emotional toll was immense. It felt like reliving the pain of family rejection all over again. The thought of going to court, reliving details of abandonment, and formalizing the absence of Harry's biological father echoed with the shadows of my own family's disapproval years ago. But Elena and I stood firm, finding strength in one another. We envisioned a future where Harry's name on legal documents would finally match the father who had been with him through every cry, every laugh, and every step. Our family grew stronger in those moments of vulnerability. Elena's parents, who had always embraced me, became our fierce supporters, reminding us that family is chosen just as much as it is born. Even Harry, though young, seemed to sense the importance. His trust in me, his bond, made every struggle worthwhile. This legal journey was not just about paperwork. It was about identity, belonging, and protection against a past filled with absence and neglect. Adoption would erase any doubts. No one could question my role or my love for Harry. Yet, even as we fought this battle, the wounds from my birth family's rejection remained. They never apologized, never acknowledged the pain they caused. Instead, their bitterness erupted in harsh words and veiled threats, reminding me why this fight was so essential. Not just for Harry, but for my own peace of mind. Adopting Harry legally was the ultimate act of commitment, to Elena, to him, and to ourselves. It marked a turning point where we could finally say, we are a family, forged in love and resilience, no matter bloodlines or judgments. As I looked forward, I knew more challenges awaited: court hearings, legal formalities, and maybe even more opposition. But this was our life, and I was resolute to protect it. From here, our journey moves toward forging a peaceful, happy life, away from the shadows of the past and toward a future built on love, trust, and acceptance. After all the storms, betrayal, heartache, and battles fought, I finally stand in a place I once thought impossible: peace. Not the kind that comes from avoiding conflict, but the kind born from fighting fiercely for what truly matters. Elena, Harry, and I have built a life rooted in love, trust, and authenticity, far away from the shadows of judgment that once loomed so large. Our mornings now begin with quiet joy, the soft light spilling through the windows, Harry's laughter echoing through the house, and Elena's calm strength beside me. These simple moments, once so fragile under the weight of disapproval, have become the foundation of a family that refuses to be broken by others' expectations. Yet, the scars remain beneath the surface. The rejection by my parents and the sense of betrayal from my brother have left wounds that remind me how fragile family can be. But I've learned that family is not only about blood, it's about who stands by you in the darkest times. Elena's parents have embraced me as their own, and together, we've created a circle of love and support that shields us from old wounds. This journey has deepened my understanding of love. Not as perfection, but as resilience, forgiveness, and commitment. Loving Elena and Harry means accepting the past, fighting for the present, and hoping for a future free from prejudice and pain. I want to share a message to anyone who feels torn between family expectations and their heart's truth. Honesty and integrity will light the way. Sometimes standing up for love means standing alone, but in that courage, you find peace and a family that truly belongs to you. Our story is proof that no legacy is greater than the one we choose to build ourselves, with kindness, strength, and unwavering faith in love. As I look ahead, I know challenges will come, but I also know that the peace we've found is real and worth protecting. With Elena and Harry by my side, I'm ready for whatever comes next, a life defined not by the past, but by the family we choose to love every day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this story with me. It means the world to have you here, listening and sharing in this journey. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with anyone who might find it meaningful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss future stories that matter. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences too. Please leave a comment below. Your feedback helps us grow and create better content that truly connects with you. Together, we can build a community that supports and uplifts one another through life's challenges. Thank you again for your support, and see you in the next video.